Hello and welcome to another video from me, Rough Swordsman Wargamer. It's part 7 of my playthrough of This is Thatcher's War, the Falklands, 1982. A game designed by Madison and published by White Dog Games. In the last video we saw the ground forces slowly creeping across East Falkland, but being held up continually by the Argentine warship, 25th of May, causing at least one of them to be out of command and as such can't yomp forward. Hopefully our forces next turn will be engaging some of these to try and push these Blue Star units back at least. But we'll see how it goes. Time is running out. We're on turn 16. But before I do that, there was something I should have done in a previous video. This camp here, the Swan Inlet House, has a little telephone icon on it. And once we control that, the rules say we can turn over any enemy unit in this Camp Fitzroy. So it's a little bit academic now, so apologies. But let's look. It's the minefield. So we'll be dealing with that if we can advance into that camp. Right, here we go for turn 16. It's the weather. And as it's turn 16, we will now be rolling on this little table here. So let's see what we get. It's a 7. Rain and snow. So we stay on here. Next is Sas Raids. Now, if you remember, we do have the SAS on the topmost stack, and it's this time in the turn where we can move it to another stack, but I think we'll keep it there. We can use the diplomacy if we wish, but no, I don't think so, as hopefully we will be attacking this turn with the ground forces. So we're straight on to the Grupos Phase. So let's see what's going to happen there. Six and a 3. The 6 is full up with 2 Grupos, so that's okay, but unfortunately the 3 is Air Sector C, which doesn't have anything in it, so in goes a Grupo. Task Force Phase. Now we have to send one of our escorts up to San Carlos to supply our troops. But if you remember, if we only send one escort, one stack of our ground troops has to be turned over to its out of supply side. But as you'll see, we've already got one turned over, so that's taken care of. So we'll pop that up there out the way. And now we are going to try and attack these Grupos. We do have the Chilean radar there, which will give us +5 to our throws. But what I think I'm going to do is try and get rid of this warship because it's causing havoc with our supply to our ground troops. So I'm going to take another chance. We've been very lucky having unescorted carriers attacking, but I think we've got to do it. We haven't got many turns left. So we'll try and see if we can get rid of that warship, the 25th of May. We need a 5 or a 6. Here we go. Oh, look at that. Look. 6. That's gone. Goes to the discard pile. That will help tremendously. I'm not sure if we can still win, but that's out of the way now. The only problem is we've got to now throw 2 dice and move the BBC News down that many. Oh dear, we need a low roll. Six. So that's coming down to 8 again. But really pleased about getting rid of that warship. Excellent. Now we can try and attack these Grupos. So let's have a quick look at the situation. So we've got 2 stacks that we will be able to move, hopefully. This stack here is going to move into Air Sector E to attack this Blue Star unit. So we will need air superiority in Sector D and E. However, this one will be moving hopefully into here. So we'll need superiority in Air Sector C. But to stop these Grupos attacking our escort, we will need air superiority in Air Sector A as well. And the other thing we've got to be aware of is the target air sector will be moving to Air Sector D now because of the 2 stacks in it. Maybe I should have put this here, but there we go. As I always say and keep saying, you will play this completely different. We might as well make the most of this +5. So we'll move both of the warships to Air Sector E. So we need 3 Harriers for that one. And 3 Harriers here. Oh dear. There we go. Right. Up to the charts and tables. There we go. Now we've got a +5 on this because of the Chilean radar. Oh, incidentally, in case you're wondering what this is, we haven't used it yet. This is the table we use if the Grupos attack the escorts at San Carlos. Hopefully we won't see it. Right, let's see what we get. +5. Oh, crikey. 6, 7, 8. 13. Good job for that +5. That would have been a no contact otherwise, but we are now in the Grupo retreats under British anti-aircraft fire. And just to remind you what that is, a Grupo will of course go back to the mainland. We can grab an aircraft from the bag, which of course is the Argentine mainland. The Hermes into the trawler box, and the BBC News up by 1. Here we go, up there. Don't know if I mentioned we were thrown for the Hermes. I probably forgot to say that. Aircraft out the bag. There's only a couple left. That's good, it's a Mirage. And the BBC News up by 1. Right, let's do the Invincible. Now, of course, it's great having this +5 because of the Chilean radar, but what we have got to be aware of is if we throw 16 or more, you think, oh, that's great. But it says here, if Argentina has fewer than 2 exocets, treat this result as a no contact result, this one. And the Argentines have only got 1 exocet, so we don't want to throw 16 or more. But now I've mentioned that, I've put the kiss of death on it. So let's see. Yep, I've put the kiss of death on it. It's 13. +5 is 18. It's this, but it's a no result. Not good at all. Over there. That's all we get. No BBC increase, no aircraft in the repair pool. Right. Argentine air assets phase. So the target air sector, as I said earlier, will now be Air Sector D because we have more ground troops in that sector. We'll roll a die and see where they're going to deploy first. Three. So they're going to deploy here first. So 2 aircraft in Air Sector C. Only 3 left. So we've got a Dagger. And another dagger. Next will be Air Sector D. There's only one aircraft left, and that is, yet another dagger. All the aircraft are now gone, so we can't do any more with that. British Air Assets Phase. Now, we need this one, this one, this one, and this one, so our escort doesn't get attacked by the Grupos. Right, well, let's just pop that there for a minute. I got my maths all wrong last time. Forgot my 7 times table. That's the pressure of this game and videoing it at the same time. So we've got one roundel plane there and another one there. They could go to Air Sector E. They could stay where they are. They could move to the target air sector. They could actually move now to Air Sector A, because we've got ground troops on the East Falkland map. How many we got here? We've got 3, 6, 8, because we've got one in the repair pool. What I could be doing, of course, I've just realised, because the Argentine aircraft are very few, we could actually not attack anything and have more Harriers. I didn't think of that. Worth bearing in mind for next time. So, oh, forgot to move the camera. Let's just show you what I'm up to. So, put a couple in Air Sector A. The bulk of the Harriers are in Air Sector C with the aces, so we can move them hopefully wherever they are needed, and a couple in Air Sector D. Not sure if that's the best plan, but that's what I'm going with. So it's now the Argentine Junta plan phase. So we'll pop that there. Roll a die. 3. That's the Navy plan. Navy Admiral Anaya acquiesces in the current plan. Leave Argentine planes where they are. Right. Not sure if that's going to be of use. Move that out of the way for a minute. I should have put some in there, shouldn't I? Oh well. So the air battle phase. We are attacking. Right, so it's ground support. And look, the Argentines don't have any units in that sector, but we do. And we have settlements. And we get a +1 for each settlement. We've got 3. So that'll move us right up to a +9. I know you can't see that. So we get a +9. The Argentines get nothing. The aces are staying where they are. So let's see if we can do it properly this time and work out the total strength points. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is 42, +9 because of our ground support, which is 51, of course. They have 12. That makes it over 400%. So on here, we don't want to throw a 1 or a 2, really. Let's see what we get. Oh, 5. Defender eliminated. These go over to the repair pool. We now have 4 in the Argentine repair pool, as you'll see in a moment. And we now try this one here. So ground support for this is a little bit different. This time the Argentines have 3 units there, so they go up to a +5. We do have ground forces, so we can go up 1. Now, is there a settlement here? No. No. So this time we get a +4 and the Argentines get a +5. But we can now move our aces across to boost our total a bit. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 28 plus 4 is 32. And the Argentines have just 6, but +5, 11. That makes it nearly 300%, but no, we've got to knock it down to the 200%. So we're on here. Let's see what we get this time. 5. Oh, that's another good one. We haven't had any dogfights yet, but this is another defender eliminated. So over that one goes. I think next time we won't bother with the Grupos to give us more Harriers so we can control more air sectors. I think that's where I'm going wrong. But that's the air battles over. We have air superiority in A, C and D. That means we can't move this one. So we now move into the ground war phase. The supply effect. BBC level is 7 or lower. No, nearly though. So we're okay. If we don't have air superiority in at least 3 sectors, we would have to turn over another stack. But no, we've got that. If we don't have air superiority in air sector A, the Grupos would attack our escort up here, but we're okay. So off we yomp. Yeah, this hasn't worked out great. I should have tried to get air superiority in air sector E so we could move these. But no, we can only move this one. So that's moving up to the minefield. And it says, if the Argentine unit is a minefield, discard the minefield marker. The British stack also ceases movement for that turn. Oh, but only if it was yomping. Helicopters can fly over minefields. What a result. Now then, this one. Again, I should have moved the SAS over here. I didn't think ahead, but we're going to have a battle here now with this big blue star unit. We have 14 against 15. We're going to throw a die and add that on. But let's quickly have a look at the ground combat modifications table. Here we are. No Pakara in the air sector. To the side with the air superiority in that sector, that's us. We get a +2. To the side defending in the mountains, let's have a quick look. No. We don't have naval gunfire support. That's only in air sector E. The KLF aren't in the stack. It's not fog, it's not squalls. If the BBC level is 16 or higher, no, it's at 9. So that doesn't apply either. And the diplomacy and the Pope marker aren't on the map. So it's just a +2. So the Brits have 14 +2 on their die roll. And the Argentines have 15 with no die roll modifications. So let's see what happens. We'll have blue for the Brits, red for the Argentines. That looks okay. For the Argentines, it's 15 +4, which is 19. For the Brits, 14 +4, which is 18, plus their 2, 20. The Brits have only gone and done it, but only just. So, what happens now? Well, first of all, this will retreat 1 back. And we move forward. And the BBC News will increase. Let's just see if that wasn't a settlement. So it increases by 3, which is great, up to 12. That would be able to move on, but we don't have air superiority in that sector. So we stop, we grind to a halt. Yeah, I should have thought this through a bit better, but there we go. But that's the end of the ground war phase. We are now into the logistics invasion phase. We go straight to the reset. So let's have a look at that. I should have actually moved that escort that sunk the Argentine 25th of May back to the trialer box, but I forgot. So it's there now. So we can turn over any out of supply stack. Excuse me. Units back to the trialer box, including this escort here, along with the Harriers. Fingers and thumbs here. There we are. Admiral Anea, no, he's been sacked. There are no more Argentine warships. So that means now that we don't get that annoying stack flip that we used to get when there was an Argentine warship at sea. That's one less thing we have to worry about. Argentine parts shortage, look at that, we've got 5 there. We take the lowest non-roundel plane, and it's going to be this Dagger. And we can do it again, and we've only got roundel planes left, so we'll take the lowest one, the Dagger, again with the roundel. That goes up there, that's great. Repair. Well, the Brits, as you know now, can always move one out of the repair pool regardless of the weather. Back to the total exclusion zone. But for the Argentines, it's rain and snow. All the planes will return to the mainland, the bag, except one, chosen at random. Let's quickly do that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, excellent. One of those Mirages are staying there. That's staying there. These are back in the bag. Political factors. No, diplomacy or the Pope markers aren't on the map. News headlines, here we go. It's 16 plus a die roll. 4 plus 16 is 20. That's the one we had last time. Buckingham Palace, Kelper Logistics Force, EEC NATO allies, Pinochet's revenge. Oh, talking about Pinochet's revenge, I should have put that back when we were talking about the diplomacy and the Pope marker. Right. So, Buckingham Palace is not going to happen. Kelper Logistics Force, do we want to move them? No, let's keep them there for the moment. Shady Arms Dealers. Let's see what we get. That's a 4. Pro-Argentine Peru. Smuggles in equipment for the Argentine Air Force. Oh no, it's that one. Any one random Argentine plane that was lost to the discard pile is now put back in the Argentine mainland. What I'll do is I'll clear the bag of doom out of mainland planes, put the planes in this discard pile back in the bag and draw one. Hold on a sec. Right, here we go. They're in the bag. The only problem is Donadille's in there. It's a Dagger. It's not a roundel one either, so that's good. That will go back in the bag of doom in a moment, but let's just put back all those planes in the discard pile. There we go. We'll just put the rest back. There's 3 planes in there now. Pinochet's Revenge. Now this time we threw a 4. That's the first time we've done that. And it says, if the headline's die roll was even, the British player may now move any 3 Argentine roundel planes from anywhere to the Argentine repair pool. Now the only one that's around is this one in the repair pool. And that's the end of another rather grotty news headlines. So just to finish off, air scramble, all British planes now move back to the total exclusion zone. There we go, no Argentine planes to move back. We now move up to turn 17, and it's the weather. Five. Fair. I think we'll keep the SAS where they are. So it's the Grupos Phase. 4 and 3. Well, we can only put one on the 3. The 4 is full up. Now, Task Force Phase. We're going to have to send both escorts to the landing zone so we don't get any of our ground forces flipped over to their outer supply side. But what are we going to do now? We could not attack any of these Grupos with our ships to give us loads of Harriers to deal with the Argentine aircraft, but we've got to be careful because next turn, if these 2 Grupos get onto the sea zones here, that will cause one of our stacks to get flipped to outer supply. So let's have a quick look before we make a decision to see what air sectors we need to be controlling. Now we've got to have air superiority in at least 3 air sectors, otherwise one of our stacks will be flipped. We've got to have air sector A under our control as well, otherwise the Grupos will attack the escorts. But we also need air sector D and E under our control so we can move these into that sector. So I think what we'll do is we'll use the Hermes and 3 of its Harriers to attack this one. And if we're successful, at least we'll be able to send that back, and that'll stop them hopefully from getting 10 Grupos onto that map. Right, up to the charts and tables. That's it we get. $13, we're okay. We're on here. Grupo retreats under British anti-aircraft fire, so we're going to move that Grupo back to the mainland. We're going to get a plane out of the Bag of Doom and move the BBC up by 1. So the Grupo back. That goes over there, of course. Aircraft out of the bag. There's only 3 left. We get Dagger and the BBC up by 1. We're at 13. Argentine Air Assets Phase. Let's see which zone is going to be placed first. 2. So we're here. 2 are going in Sector B. That's their lot. That's all there is. Got a Mirage and a Dagger there going into Sector B. Nothing else. British Air Assets Phase. So we need a couple in Air Sector A. Now, do we go after these? They may go to E. They may stay where they are. They may go to the target air sector, which I didn't mention, I forgot to mention, but it stays where it is because all the ground troops are in Sector D. Might be worth having a go and see if we can get these off of the map. What have they got there? 15. They're not going to get any ground support, but we are, because we've got these settlements. So we'll get our +9. So let's put 4 there for a minute. And we can put our aces there as well, because they can move. We'll put 2 there just so we're covered. We'll put 3 there and 3 here. So we've got our 3 air sectors. Right, let's see what happens. Argentine Junta plan phase. 6. That is Air Force Plan T. All roundel planes on East Falkland move to the target air sector. They're moving here. Oh dear. Now it's the Argentine reaction. No point in rolling it actually, because it won't apply, because the only Argentine aircraft on the map are those involved in a battle, and they have to stay there. Air battle procedure. So we are the attackers. Ground support, a bit different now. The Argentines have 1 unit here, so they will go up to 3. However, we have 1. Got any here? No. No. We've got 1 settlement in the air sector, and we have troops, of course, so we're on +7. We can now move our aces, thank goodness, to that sector. Oops, come here. As well. And we now calculate the odds. We have 35 +7, which is our good old 42. And the Argentines have 15 here +3, which is 18, which is less than 250%. So we're down to the 200%. We're on here again. Let's see what we get. It's a dogfight, our first dogfight. Yep, dogfight. It says for a dogfight, the initial attack is parried as the defending side launches a bold counterattack. Refight the battle. The original attacker is now the defender. Roll a die on the 100% column of the air battle results table. Ignore the real odds and reset any existing ground support to 0. Apply the final result to the battle. They both go back to 0. We're rolling just on the 100%. No need to work out new odds. They are the attackers, so they need to throw low. Let's see what they get. Oh dear, oh dear. Attacker eliminated. I don't believe it. I still don't think we're going to make it, but my goodness, our die rolling is getting better again. Attacker eliminated. They go up there to the repair pool. And that's it. We've got air superiority in A, B, D and E. It's now the ground war phase. So the BBC News, is it 7 or lower? No, we're okay. We have air superiority in at least 3 air sectors, good. And we have air superiority in Sector A. So we're good to go. So there's going to be a few battles now. So let's zoom on down to the East Falkland map. So let's try this one up here first. So we're moving into here and coming across these Argentine forces here. So we've got 3. So we've got 16 against 17. So now we'll have a quick look up at the ground combat modifications. Here we are. We have air superiority in the air sector, so we get a +2. Are they defending in the mountains? No. We have the KLF with us, so that's another +3, so that's a +5. No, the weather's fine. We're not 16 or higher on the BBC News, or lower, 6 or lower. The diplomacy and the Pope marker are not on the map, so we have a +5. We're in with a chance. So the Argentines are on 17 with no modifications. We are on 16 with a +5. Blue for Brits, red for the Argentines. Ooh. The Argentines 17 +6 is 23. The Brits 16 +4, 20 plus their 5 from the modifications, 25. We win, we push back. The Argentines. And because we won, we get a +3 on the BBC News, which is good. We can now move into this Murrell Bridge and move and try and attack them again. However, they are now in a mountain. So we have to first check, I think, whether or not we can get up the mountain. We have to throw a die, and on a 1 or a 2, we have to stop there. No, we're fine. So we're carrying on the attack. We're attacking Mount Longdon. Again, 17 for the Argentines. However, this time they do get a +1 because they're defending in the mountains. But we get our +2 because we have air superiority, and a +3 because of the KLF. So it's a +1 for the Argentines, +5 for the Brits. Let's see what we get this time. Oh no! 17 +6 for the Argentines. It's 23 plus another 1 for the mountains, 24. And we have 16 +5 is 24. It's a draw. And because it's a draw, the defender, in this case the Argentines, win the battle. We lose. We have to move back to Murrell Bridge and stop there. But because we've lost, we lose 5 on the BBC News. Back to 11. And that's the end of that attack. Let's try this one with the Welsh Guards attacking here into Mount Kent. Same thing again. We've got to see if we can get up the hill first, I think. So on a 1 or a 2, we have to stop. No, we're okay. So let's see. This Royal Artillery unit now has a strength of 5 because we are attacking a mountain camp. So we have 5, 10, 16 again, and they have 18. So we get a +2 because of air superiority. They get a +1, do the Argentines, for defending in the mountains. And that is it. Not so good this time. Here we go. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So for the Brits, we've got 10, 16 plus our 1 on the die. 17 plus 2 for air superiority, 19. For the Argentines, yeah, they've got 18 to start with, plus 1 for being in the mountains, 19, plus their 6. 25, we have been defeated, so we stay where we are and lose another 5. All down to 6. Last hope is this stack here with a helicopter. Won't be using that for the moment, but we've got, again, they're in the mountains. Oh dear, we've only got 14 this time. So we have 14, they have 15. We get a +2 for having air superiority. They get a +1 for being in the mountains. So we've got to throw well. No, I think the luck of the dice has left us. We get 14, +3 is 17, plus our 2 for air superiority. It's 19. The Argentines get 15 plus 5, 20, plus their 1, 21. They've beaten us. And that, I think, is going to be it. We're down to 1 on the BBC News. Very, very disappointing ground war phase there. So now logistics invasion phase, it's the reset. So for the reset, any British stack which is currently out of supply is unflipped, but we're okay there. These now move back to the total exclusion zone, as do the escorts and these Harriers. Admiral Anea doesn't happen. He hasn't any warships left. Argentine parts shortage. We can get rid of one of these. The only one we can do is this dagger for 6. We don't have any in our repair pool. However, the Argentine planes now return to the mainland, the bag. The diplomacy and the Pope markers aren't on the turn track, and the Chilean radar isn't out, so we can ignore that. News headlines, +17. Let's see what we get. Four plus 17 is 21. It's the one we had last time. Buckingham Palace, Kelper Logistics Force, EEC NATO allies and Pinochet's revenge. So we can't do Buckingham Palace, the Kelper Logistics Force. We can move to another stack, but I think we'll just keep it there. EEC NATO allies. That's the one with all these guys on it. Let's see what we get. Four. Oh, it's a good one. New Zealand's PM, Robert Muldoon, sends supplies and aid to Britain. Increased BBC News by +3. Well, that's better than a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. There we go. And Pinochet's revenge. Because we threw an even number to give us our 21 with the 17, we can now move up to 3 Roundel planes from anywhere to the repair pool. And just so happens that there are 3 aircraft in the bag, so we'll pop them over there. And that's the end of the news headlines. Air scramble. We'll just move back all the Brits to the total exclusion zone, and there aren't any Argentines. There we go. And I've just had a thought about that KLF moving. I think I will move them if you'll allow me, because I've been thinking, and we'll move it here, because if this stack can push this back twice, because they've got less to go than this one, so this stack has got the furthest to go. I know I'm clutching at straws, but that's what we'll do. if that's okay with you. Right, all that's left to do is move that up to turn 18. And once again, it's time for the weather. Here we go with the weather. The penultimate turn, turn 18. No. That's it. Game over, I think. 11. No. Gales. We have to skip the turn. And we're on turn 19. Yeah, I was just checking. It looks like we've lost the game because of throwing gales for the last turn. But we'll go through it and you'll see where we've lost the game in a moment. So let's just throw for the weather. Nine. That's squalls, no air. Well, that'll speed our defeat up a bit. We won't bother to move the SAS. It's not going to make any difference. So it's the Grupos Phase, which we'll do quickly. Well, double 4. Nothing can come on. Task Force Phase. Well, there's no point in using any warships to attack the Grupos because all the planes are in the repair box. But we'll need to put these up to stop any of our ground forces being turned over. And just to remind you, because it's no air, all those with this little symbol aren't going to apply. So we don't do this, this, and this. And we're straight over to the ground war phase, which is where we meet our demise. So the first thing it says for the ground war phase is the supply effect. If the BBC News is 7 or lower, and it's at 4, one stack of British ground units has to be flipped over to its outer supply side. So that means we are not going to be able to complete this turn all the way up to these 3 camps here next to Stanley. So we've lost the game. We've lost the Falklands. But what a cracking game. Thoroughly enjoyed that. But the Brits throwing gales for that turn and having the BBC News down so low has meant the end of this playthrough of Mrs. Thatcher's War, the Falklands, 1982, designed by R. Ben Madison and published by White Dog Games. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I know I did. If you did and you haven't done so already, it would be great if you would consider subscribing to the channel, because at the time of videoing this, we are very near, would you believe, 3,000 subscribers. So if you can help out, that would be great. Pushing the like button of the video, the thumbs up, also helps tremendously. And if you want to be informed of other content the channel uploads, then push the bell. Leave a comment. Crikey, I thought I had it in the bag there. I haven't won this game. I've played it a couple of times, but I've lost for different reasons. And this time at the start, it was going very well indeed. I thought, oh, we might have a chance. But no, as you can see, this game bites back, and did it. But still, I had a great time. But tell me what you think. I love to read them. Thanks as always to my subscribers. Thank you very much. And one last thing just before I go. If you wish to support the channel a little bit further, well, now you can buy the channel a coffee. And those coffees go towards maintaining the channel and allowing it to continue to upload new content. If you wish to check that out, I'll leave a link in the description, and thank you. So, once again, Rough has rewritten history and we have failed to take the Falklands, but a good little game which I recommend for your consideration. Well, I hope you can join me to see what we're going to be playing next. But until then, as always, you take care and goodbye.